For In the News TV Daily, rapper Bun B gets into a sticky situation where he put a 20-year-old in the hospital.
I'm in the news with it.
Make sure to subscribe with the bell so the videos come straight to you. That way you don't have to search for valid news. Listen, man, when I say we must protect our hip-hop artists and legends in the industry, I really mean it at all costs. When you think of Bun B, you think of a legend. Born Bernard Freeman, the 6'3", 45-year-old, in my honest opinion, doesn't get the credit he deserves in the rap industry. He went from starting out the rap group with Chad Butler in 1987 to teaching lectures at Rice University nowadays. The Southern rapper who has a popular song with Jay-Z, he almost lost his wife and family a few hours ago during a hot April day in Texas. So when the OG rapper was running downstairs of his mansion with his machine locked and loaded, he was ready to risk it all for his family and household. Bun B, the Grammy-nominated rapper out of Texas, almost was a result of a home invasion around 5:45 p.m. The rapper was at home with his wife of 13 years when a knock at the door happened. According to Bun B's wife, Angela Walls, she thought the door was someone delivering a package in the mail, so when she opened the door for the package, it wasn't a package, and it was a 20-year-old by the name of Demonte Alice Jackson, who was originally from Arizona. According to my sources, Bun B lives in a mixed area of Texas, which means that if you make a wrong turn, you're pretty much in a sketchy area. A lot of people forget Texas went through the whole Harvey situation, which left a lot of people out of homes and work. So things can get out of hand when someone's thirsty and starving. So according to Cookie, Bun B's wife's nickname, she answered the door. That's when Jackson forced his way in Houston mansion masked up. Once inside, he demanded money and all of the valued possessions they had throughout the house. Thinking quickly now in retrospect, his wife was thinking smart and told the 20-year-old that they could take their expensive foreign Audi in the garage. Jackson took advantage of this opportunity. So while the two made their way into the garage, the Trill legend heard the commotion downstairs and grabbed his piece. While getting into the driver's door of the Audi, Jackson was caught by surprise when Bun B started to let off. Eventually, according to reports, Jackson, the 20-year-old, was hit in the shoulder, in which he left his piece and ran away from the scene. The married couple called the authorities. They arrived minutes after the incident, being that Bun B was defending his home and he didn't give a description of the unknown man at the time. So for those who don't know, usually when something happens like that in the city, the authorities are usually on standby looking and waiting for someone to come into the hospital for help. After a few hours, that's exactly what happened with Jackson. He arrived looking to repair his shoulder in result of the battle with Bun B. After being treated, Jackson was transferred to the Pearland Medical Center to the jails. Jackson, being the young age of only 20 years old and being born in 1998, he is seen here in his county blues speaking to the judge,
who stated that while in his residence, he heard his wife, the other complainant, stating, quote, "Please just take the car," from another area inside the residence. The complainant retrieved his firearm, went to the area where his wife was located, saw an unknown male in the residence with a... He then observed the male in the attached garage in the driver's seat of the complainant's car. The suspect then turned towards him, and out of fear for his life, he discharged multiple rounds at the suspect. The suspect then shot back at him. The suspect left the location running on foot. While attempting to detain the suspect outside of the complex, he demanded the suspect to remove the mask covering his face. He observed the suspect to be have light complexion, heavy dreads, a tattoo on the inner right wrist that appeared to be a picture of the sun. During the investigation, officer learned that a male had arrived at a local hospital with a wound to the left back shoulder, who was identified as this defendant.
After doing my research on Jackson, it seemed like he was a good young man and had a very bright future in football. The young man is an ex-high school football star and standing at 6'3", 180 pounds. He should have been on a football field entertaining the crowd on a Saturday morning, but in return, he's asking for a $60,000 bail to be lowered. My thing is, why is little homie running into people's houses and not being prepared for what's behind that door? It shows that Jackson shouldn't be in this type of life, and after doing my homework, Jackson really didn't even have a bad record. He was locked up back in Arizona for driving without a license, but other than that, he was a pretty good kid. The thing is, this is Houston, and this is going to be a very publicized case. They might try to make an example out of Jackson and nip this in the bud. Hopefully Jackson has learned his lesson about trying to run into people's cribs. Especially in the state of Texas, everyone is strapped up, even the dog. They're in Florida. I mean, how do you try to run into someone's crib at 5:45 p.m. during the daytime when everyone's home? I know the news tries to spin stories, so who knows what the motive was, but this definitely wasn't planned out, and it definitely was a spur of the moment. But my thing is, at least do your homework on the house before trying to come in. I wonder if he knew that he was running into Bun B's house, or he thought it was a random woman with a nice house alone. I really feel sorry for Bun B's wife because she had to go through this situation. I mean, she opened the door thinking it was an Amazon package, only to be taken advantage of by someone of the same color. One thing I learned is whenever the door rings and it's a man in the house, neither should the woman or the kids of the house answer the door. I definitely commend Ms. Bun B for thinking on her feet and telling Jackson to take the car. I'm thinking she did either two of one of these things. A, she thought, okay, the Audi has a chip in it and Jackson won't get far with the car once we call the authorities. Or B, she knew her husband was upstairs and all she had to do was make a lot of noise and he was going to come down and give Jackson the business. Whatever it was, she handled the situation perfectly. 4 hours after the incident happened, the married couple went to their Instagram and posted this picture. It looks like they're both unfazed and back to enjoying life. On the eve of Hustle passing away, like I said before, we gotta protect our legends. According to report, he was caught in the parking lot of his clothing store without defense, and a local person of the neighborhood did him wrong. When the Charlotte rapper DaBaby defended himself in Walmart a few months ago, fans and people were giving him backlash for handling himself that way. But you gotta respect it. Same with Bun B. They held it down when it counted the most instead of relying on entourages and security. And that's my whole thing about always being prepared. Rather safe than sorry. Another rapper by the name of Gucci Mane. Back in the day, he was going back and forth with Jeezy, and apparently and allegedly, according to Gucci Mane's book and rumors, somebody kicked the door and ran up in his crib. Ultimately, or eventually, someone passing away in a result of Gucci protecting himself. He took it to trial. The case was actually dismissed. So that's another case of just protecting yourself, even if you're a felon or a person that has a record. It's good that Bun B was definitely clutching and defended his family. You definitely got to talk to me about this in the comments. How long do you think the 20-year-old Jackson should get for trying to do it to these folks? What would you have done if you was Bun B's wife in that same situation and you opened the door and someone tried to force their way into your crib? Make sure to comment below. Every opinion counts, every comment counts. Make sure to like this video if you're getting to the end. Let's try to get this video to 10,000 likes. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm in the news with it. Check out our Patreon where we give you behind the scenes of making our videos and private tips to improve your YouTube channel with proven techniques and backed by our trial and error experience. Also follow the creator of In the News with weekly vlogs. More information at patreon.com/InTheNewsTV. Links will be in the description and comment section.